right? So this is basically called cross application navigation, and this is how you need to navigate from any application to other application, guys. Actually, this concept, people think it is very difficult, but SAP made it easy by using this semantic object and action concepts. Okay, so the only thing you need to do is to get the standard cross application navigation service and use two external and give the target shell hash. So first you observe what is a hash in the Fiori Launchpad and copy the same and put it in your coding. That's all. So now we are going to see a small topic, smallest topic in entire SAP UI5, and that is internationalization. So basically, what is internationalization? Making your application support for multiple languages. So here in the Launchpad, you would have observed there is a login language. Just for a while. So in the login page, in addition to the username and password, there is one extra drop down, and that is login language. So the purpose of that particular drop down is whatever the language I will log in, the application should appear in that particular language. Appear in that language means not the data, but at least whatever the visible labels, your simple form labels, whatever, all the labels that you can see in your application. So let me open our employee management application here. Where is our, yeah, this is our application, B72 UI5 app. So let me run it here. So it is still being signed out. For signing out also it is taking time. Okay, so basically what I'm talking is, if you see this, am view 1, search employees, so even this filters, sorting, sort group. So what are these? All these are the labels, the visual labels. So if your application, if your client is having the business in multiple countries, for example, my client is having the business in Japan, they have business in China, they have the business in Germany. Okay, so they asked us the application to support all these 3 languages. If a Chinese person logging, the application should appear in Chinese. If a Japanese person logging, so he wants the application to appear in Japanese. Especially the Japanese people, Chinese people, they don't understand English. Germany also, they don't understand English. They give preference to their native language. Okay, so how to keep all these labels in multiple languages is nothing but internationalization. Actually, this is pretty simple. So what you need to do is simple but boring. Okay, so what you need to do is, so go to your application. Now wherever you have written English statements, English text directly, this is called directly hard coding the text. So actually during our application development, we have hard coded the English text everywhere. So see, view 1, search employees, and simple form labels like employee ID, name, designation. So this kind of hard coded text should not be done at the time of development, or even if you did it at the time of development, but at the end you need to remove all these hard coded text into a language translation file. We call it as I18N. Okay, so all of you observe how to do this. So this has been logged out. So let me just open this again. This got logged off. I will open the Fiori Launchpad. I don't have the URL. So I need to depend on the T code only. Yeah. So this is what I'm talking about. Okay, this this Launchpad is configured only for English and Dutch. So it purely depends on the client, guys. The basis stream can configure how many languages it should appear in this dropdown. Okay, let's say as I already mentioned, my client is working for 3 different regions. Then they will keep Chinese, Japanese, and Germany. Only 3 values in this dropdown. Okay. But if it is more than that, as many languages they want, the basis stream can configure those languages in this dropdown. So this is basis activity. Anyway, now if I log in with English, my application, all the visual labels should appear in English. And if I log in with German, all the visual labels should appear in German. So how to do this? Normally what the approach that we follow is, at the time of development, we directly develop in English only. Okay, because we want the development to happen faster. After the entire development is over, we keep at least 3 to 4 days only for internationalization. So what we do, we go view by view. So wherever the English text we have hard coded, so we need to separate all these text from view into the i18n.property file like this. Okay, I will show you with 1-2 text as example. For example, this is view 1. So you need to keep it here. This is text. So for every text, so you need to give one key. So this is a key and value, key and text pair underscore view 1. Okay, and this is set employees, which is a panel header text. So we need to write set employees, and then you need to write, the key is your wish, guys, you can give anything. Okay, so panel underscore title. Got it? Panel underscore title. Now, whatever the hard-coded text that you have copied and assigned to the keys, now you need to copy the keys and replace this hard-coded text with the i18n binding. So if you observe in the manifest.json, there is a model called i18n model. So this particular model is pointing to which file? It is pointing to web app folder, i18n folder, and i18n. So i18n folder dot i18n means i18n.property file. Okay, so this particular binding is called i18n binding. So here you need to write i18n arrow mark and then the key. Tell you what happens. The first i18n is model name. So this is the model name. And this model is pointing whom? The model is pointing to this i18n file. Okay. So it goes to this i18n file. Now within the i18n file, what we are pointing? We are pointing to title underscore view 1. So title underscore view 1, which is pointing to I am view 1. So I am view 1 will get displayed. So similarly, panel title. So I am removing this. And again, i18n binding, panel underscore title. So like this, all the hard-coded text that are present in view 1, view 2, view 3, view 4, you need to remove and replace them with the i18n binding. Still, even you run the application, it appears in English only because in i18n we maintain in English. So remember, i18n.property file is called default language translation file. Okay. Now for every other language, for example, German, again you need to create one more i18n file like this. So right click, new file, and you need to give the file name as i18n underscore language code. So the language code for German is _d dot properties, PROPERTIES. Click OK. Now what you need to do is, in this file also, you need to maintain these two, but the right hand side text will not be in English, but this will be in German. So since I don't know the German language, I will use Google Translator. And I will select my, so just type, this is not required. Okay, one second. So I'll directly write view 1. Now this will detect automatically English. Now my destination language is German. Now this is what it translated. Now copy this and paste it here. This is what is Ich bin V1. I am V1. That is what is in German. Okay. Similarly, what we have, the other text we have is search employees. So copy this, put it here, and this is what we call this in German, and copy and paste it here. Now the intelligence of Fiori Launchpad is in the login language. So if you select English, then from your application it takes i18n.property file. In the login language, if you select German, then in your application it takes this file, so which is having German translations. So like this, your application will appear in English, German, Chinese, blah blah blah. Okay. So for every language, remember, for each language, the the client is having his business in multiple regions. For each region, you need to maintain this i18n file. So as of now, we maintain in only German, but if you see our application, currently I am working, so it is having i18n underscore. For Chinese, the language code is ZH. Okay. For Japanese, it is underscore JA or JP, I don't remember. So yeah. Now let us deploy this application. And click on finish. And like this, you need to do for every view. So I just, as an example, I changed it to hard-coded text, but you need to do it for every text, every view. Now let's go here, refresh this, user this one. So we already seen our application in English, but I want to see in German. So let's click on log on. So once you click on log on, the Launchpad, itself will turn into German language. As you can see, this is saying something here. Okay. And not only this, even if you click this settings menu bar, so this will also have options automatically converted into German. Just wait for a while. You can see profile one Rizwan. So previously it is profile of Rizwan. So this will take time because we changed the language and we logged in into the other language, right? So this will take time. That we have more number of tiles. Okay, so meantime, we'll see one last kind of a standard requirement, not a big thing. So meanwhile, by the time this got loaded. Now we can see all these options turn into German. So for this you don't need to do anything. So they will automatically get changed. We need to come to our group. So our group is B72 UI5 app, and let's open employee management application. Now you can see this is each bin view1, and even this got changed. Okay, so like this, if you maintain for every hard-coded text, all of them will automatically change. So this process is called internationalization. Okay, right. So one more small topic that we missed is exporting table data into Excel. So this is a standard functionality in SAP UI5. So for this, the standard code is there. You no need to worry at all. So let us implement this. So let me go here in the view1 and view1 controller. So exporting the table data into Excel is, kind of very common in real time. It's very, very common. Why it is not working here? I don't understand. It is not loading the data here, but it is loading the data in the Launchpad. Metadata failed, it is saying. Very surprising. Let me see. Okay, so this application we took from Business Application Studio, right? So that's the reason. Okay. So basically, I'm talking about exporting the table data into Excel. So this option we didn't, so somehow we forgot. So let's keep this option, exporting table data into Excel. So for that, you can keep a button in the view. So go to your table. So for the table, in the header toolbar, so keep one button at the ending. So I'm going to keep the button. So we don't give any text for this, we just give only the icon. So icon equal to, let me go to the icon explorer. So I don't remember the icon. And you can search for Excel. So this icon is something we use. I can copy this and come here, and I will keep the icon name. So Excel attachments. All right. So now you can view type equal to reject for red color button, and you can press equal to press on export to Excel. Export to Excel. Yep. Now if you refresh your application, you will find that export icon. Yeah, so this is what is export to Excel. I intentionally kept it red so that you can see this clearly. Now when you click this particular table data should get exported into the Excel sheet. So this is a standard coding, and everything is given out of the box. So for this you no need to much worry. So let me write it here. Right. So exporting table data into Excel sheet needs a library, and the library is given by SAP, luckily. So once upon a time that library is not there when I started SAP UI5. So we used a third-party JavaScript library at that time, but in the year 2017 or somewhere he has given this library. So the library name is Spreadsheet Library. Okay, so you need to add this library over here. So we can even search in this API reference spreadsheet. So this is the library, so which you need to add it in the top. First, keep the double quotation, and wherever there is a dot, keep a slash. So this is the step to just add this library. After adding the library, you can simply copy and paste the standard coding in this. Okay. So just a second. Yeah. So this code you can directly copy and paste. The only editing you need to do is for the column names. That's all. So remaining thing you can copy and paste. However, I will explain this code, but this is kind of copy paste code, guys. You no need to type this code. Now in this code, I will explain the code also, don't worry. The only change you need to do is columns, whatever the columns that you want in the export, you can keep only those columns. So that option was given, okay? So we defined array of columns. So this array of columns is nothing but the columns that you want to export into the Excel, okay? For example, I want employee ID, name, designation, skill. So phone number we do not have, so remove this. Date of joining we have, salary we have. Okay, so only these columns I am exporting. So in the columns there are 4 properties. One is label and property. So label means column label. Property means OData property. So these 2 properties we give when our value that has to go into the column is a string. But if the value that has to go into our column, if it is a date of joining, then you need to add 2 extra properties, that is type equal to date and format equal to whatever the format in which you want the download to happen. Okay, and salary. Salary is a number, decimal. So for that you need to give type equal to number, delimiter true, and scale. So delimiter means it comes with comma. 1 lakh, 1 comma 00 comma 000. Point you will get .00. Okay, so that is what you need to do if you have a number or date of joining. Okay, date or number. So for these 4 properties will come, but otherwise only label and property are enough. Okay, right. So that is for columns. And to get the rows, so this variable. So what is this variable? Let us see. Yeah, now you can see the variable value directly here. So row binding is nothing but this dot get view by ID, my table. So this is the table, and this is the table ID. Dot get binding items. So get binding items means what? Get binding items is nothing but slash employee set. Slash set means it is hitting your base service URL slash employee set, means all the total employee records, correct? So basically we are passing the row binding. So row binding will give you all the employee data because it is going to hit your slash employee set entity set. Okay, and then the settings and worksheet is your spreadsheet. So after copy and pasting this code, the only change you need to do is this columns. As many columns as you want, you change this array. So apart from this array, remaining all are standard. Okay. So settings is an object where there is internally workbook. Workbook is nothing but your Excel. Columns. So we already have our column in this array. You need to pass this columns here. Data source means from where the data is coming for the columns. the data is coming from this row binding. So this row binding is nothing but your table.get binding items. So row binding, and then file name. So what is the file name that you want? Give the file name. So this worker is a standard property, just give it true, that's all. Okay. And with all these settings, this particular settings has to be passed as input to this standard spreadsheet library, new spreadsheet, and then we passed these settings here, and the spreadsheet will be built. Okay. So finally something which will be called, if anything wrong happened with the spreadsheet, then it will destroy the spreadsheet. So this is a standard coding for spreadsheet, guys. So let me deploy and see. So even if you do not understand this code, don't worry, just edit the columns, that is enough. Okay. Whatever the columns that you want, just edit it. Remaining everything is same. So I deployed this. So basically, if I summarize the code, to create a spreadsheet, to create an Excel sheet, this is the library, new spreadsheet. Now this new spreadsheet needs the O settings. Inside the O settings, we already declared O settings here. So the O settings ask, what are your columns? What are your rows? What is the file name that you want? Columns are here, rows are, these are columns. These are your row data, rows data, right? So how I am passing the row data? By taking it from get binding items. What is get binding items? Get binding items is nothing but /employee set. What is /employee set? You already know what is /employee set. So this is /employee set, which gives all rows data. So that data your library is taking. Got it? So columns we passed, rows we passed, file name we passed. This entire thing is in O settings. So O settings we passed as input to the spreadsheet library. Now we are saying, hey, Mr. Spreadsheet library, you build it. You build the Excel sheet. Dot finally means if anything error encountered, then it will go inside the function and it will destroy that Excel sheet. Okay, that's all. Now let us refresh. So since it is not running in the local, I will just show you directly from the Launchpad. Now you can see this export to Excel, and I clicked on it. Yeah, now you can see it got downloaded also. Employees.xls. So it should contain Anil, Amit, everything. Okay. So this is one small topic that I missed. So I just covered this also. Yeah, fine. So with this, we completed the cross application navigation and this export to Excel, that internationalization. So these are small topics in SAP UI5. Right. So in the next week, we'll connect and we'll see some miscellaneous topics. So I will also help you in the interview perspective. What are the interview questions people will touch upon? Actually, I normally don't believe on interview questions. Telling the interview questions, okay, you write down the interview questions. I normally don't prefer and I don't suggest actually. But since the students keep on asking me, sir, tell me some interview questions like that, so I'm just listing them down. But otherwise, actually, my way of interview is you do practically and go to the interview. That's all. And whatever you have done practically, you explain the same. I also normally don't prepare for any interview. And even in the interview, I'm a panel member. When I ask the questions, I will not ask any questions which is starting with what. I give the scenario, I will ask him, tell me how do you develop this. That's all. I will not ask what is the flow, what is binding. So I will not ask any what are the models present in SAP UI5. So any question starting with what will not be there in our list. Okay, so anyway, I will give the interview questions, but basically my point is you practice it. The more you practice, the more errors you will get, the more you learn, and you will automatically prepare for the interview. You no need to specially list down the interview questions, go for the interview, not required. So you practice it. This will not only preparing you for the interview, but also after the interview when you get the job, so you are already ready for the job also if you practice the classes. So it works in two ways. Okay. So fine guys, if you have any questions, you can ask me. So this is anyway not a problem.
The Fiori elements, how do we go for that?
Fiori elements, I will update you. So some people who are some people have registered for the Fiori elements as well, but that is not a good number. Normally we start the batch, any batch we start at least if we have 10 members. But if I see the list of people who appeared for this Fiori elements, who have done the payment for Fiori elements, they are very less actually. So most of the people paid only for SAP UI5 codes, but not for the Fiori elements codes. And you may have a question, what about the people who already paid? Don't worry, we will reimburse your, we will return your amount in case we do not get the actual, the 10 people counts. Okay, so your amount will be returned, no doubt in that, don't worry at all. Okay.
Because, can we use the same code for CSV format also?
Yeah.
CSV format, if you want to download CSV format.
So CSV format is actually, we have that, but it got deprecated. So now the people are working only with the Excel. The CSV is something that got deprecated. Okay. So if you want, I will show you. But here, let me go. So previously there is another library before spreadsheet that is called util.export. Now when I search for util.export, you can see it is not showing, but if I include deprecated, now it will come. SAP UI core util.export. So this is something which is having the option to download in CSV. Okay. But this library is gone, and after that nobody are downloading in CSV. We are downloading directly in Excel only, Excel sheet only. So if you want the download to export, you need to use this library instead of spreadsheet library, because spreadsheet library always download in XLSX format only. Okay. If you want, I will just maybe I will create a demo and show you.
And one more thing, can we do the change in standard applications?
That was a good question. Actually, see, maybe I will explain that in Monday. So anyway, this is not our last class. I will explain. We'll discuss these things on Monday. Okay. So standard applications. Not nowadays, I can say it's already from 3-4 years. SAP stopped developing standard applications normally. Normally means using UI5. All the standard applications are only Fiori elements. No standard application is of type okay.
Actually, I asked you yesterday, get created by the.
I will just check into that and reply you in the WhatsApp itself.
Okay, because I was checking a blog there. The binding was different. The parameter and in the binding they are giving the parameters and the expand parameter there. So I was confused. Can you give me
No,
on
even
the
I
Monday?
also
Can you?
explained you, right? So we can also give expand. I think I have already shown you employee set of something and then question mark dollar expand equal to 2 projects. Now this gives you employee projects data as well as employee data.